Ahead on Early Birds, the Falcons are making a change at quarterback. We get TJ's take on why now and what's next as the team looks to mess with Minnesota. Plus, with Grady Jarrett out, we go one-on-one with one of the defense's leaders. We'll talk about the Dogs' biggest hurdle in the SEC East and go deep with the art of holding, a job you might miss, which is just how the Falcons like it. That and more on Early Birds.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin, and Shock. You know the first topic we got to start with this week.
What, the Minnesota Vikings coming to town?
We will get to that in just a moment, but I think we'll hit the quarterbacks first, if that's cool with you.
Yeah,
all right, let's get things started with the opening drive. We talk about it every week. Why change things up? Falcons facing the Vikings tomorrow with Taylor Heinicke getting his first start at quarterback. Desmond Ridder, we've talked about it a lot. He struggled with turnovers. Heinicke gave him a spark last week. So, DJ, what's your read on this move?
I like the move. I'm going to be honest. I've been a big Desmond Ridder fan since the beginning. I wanted him to be successful, but as the year has went on, we have had the roller coaster ride that is Desmond Ridder, and we've had instances where it feels like some of this is on the quarterback. Not all of it is, but through 8 games, we've had opportunities, and I think we saw what Taylor Heinicke could do, especially when he came in that second half versus Tennessee, and it says, okay, this is what this offense should and could look like. So I don't have a problem with seeing number 4 out there tomorrow.
Now, Arthur Smith has made clear this doesn't necessarily mean the change is permanent. Heinicke, well, he sees it the same way.
100%. That's the only thing I'm focused on is this week. We got a really difficult defense. They do a bunch of different things, so that's enough on my plate right there. So I'm focused on being the guy this week. We'll see what happens going forward, but again, me and Des have a good relationship. He's pushing me, I'm pushing him. We're here to make each other better.
As we continue on the opening drive, Shock, the 5 guys who might be the most pivotal in Heinicke's success, the offensive line. So what do you want to see out of that group, especially you just heard from Taylor against a defense they have a lot of respect for?
Well, how about number 1, protect the quarterback? You're talking about giving up 6 sacks last week, had a game versus Detroit where you gave up 7. I mean, you have to be able to protect whoever's back there. And then sometimes it seems like a little lack of communication at times when you're talking about different blitzes, different schemes are coming, and we've seen free runners. The communication has to be better up front, and we have to protect the quarterback. That's the number 1 rule for me.
Maybe being back at home, not having to deal with crowd noise, that could help the Falcons up front as well tomorrow. And as we wrap up the opening drive, speaking of up front, the Falcons defense, well, they're going to have to go the rest of the season, DJ, without Grady Jarrett. We hate seeing this. He's always so good to us. Tore his ACL last weekend. We know how much Grady means, not just to the defense, but to the team and leadership. So how big a loss is it?
I think it's what you just said, the leadership that you get off the field, the leadership you get in meeting room, the leadership you get in the locker room. Those are kind of things that are hard to kind of, I would say, get back from another guy. And Grady's been that for a numerous amount of years. And the way he goes about his business, the way he works in practice, that is what makes Grady so special. And it brings other guys along because you don't want to be the guy that's not working hard alongside him. So players on the defense say it will be everybody's job to step up.
Anytime you lose a high-level Pro Bowl player like, Grady, you never can replace that. But you just have to, do different scenarios to make sure you kind of even get the same production for them. The younger guys are ready for the test. Also, it puts more on us as well to go out there and play our, better game for, to make up for the loss of Grady.
And, of course, we wish Grady a speedy recovery. Welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder, and that Falcons defense. They're going to face a Vikings team tomorrow that just lost their quarterback for the season. Kirk Cousins, an Achilles injury. He was playing so well. They're going to start Jaron Hall, 5th-round rookie out of BYU. What, if anything, do we know about him?
I think it's going to be a brand-new situation because we know what he's done in college, but it's different when you get in the NFL. You got different guys around you. This will be an eye-opening thing for him. We just hope he doesn't perform the same way the rookie we saw last week.
Yeah, a lot of cracks at rookies for this Falcons defense. Well, Shock, I never meant to cause you sorrow, never meant to cause you any pain. I only want to see you laughing in the purple film room.
Oh, I like that one. Bars.
Prince, Minnesota? Bars. All right, I like that one. All right, Shock, we'll see you in a moment. But first, like we just said, it's unanimous on the Falcons defense. Everybody's going to need to do their part without star D lineman Grady Jarrett. Plenty of vets in that group ready to step into the role of on-field leader, including Lorenzo Carter. And this week is a particularly appropriate one for Zoe to lead. Our Miles Garrett spoke to him one-on-one, starting with this week's theme at the Benz.
This week is the Atlanta Falcons call to service game. You've had some traveling experience yourself going across the pond to places like Germany, Romania. What sort of things did you learn there? Maybe an appreciation for our service members making those trips?
Yeah, those were great trips. Just to get a chance to go and see those bases overseas. The thing that really stood out was having those guys just tell us about their experiences and just being away from family, but still being so locked in and connected to football. They watch the games, they cheer for us. Like, they got to wake up early in the morning just to watch a game, and it's just like, it gives us that appreciation and that honor and respect. Just that it's like, bro, these guys are putting their life on the line daily, and they still wake up Sunday morning looking forward to watching us. So that's just really big and really humbling.
Now talking a little defense here with the Falcons. From last year to this year, it's almost been day and night. You know, with Ryan Nielsen as defensive coordinator, you guys have created a lot of pressure. Haven't exactly gotten to the quarterback as much, but you guys have been one of the better defenses in the NFL. What, in your words, has been the difference from last year to this year?
I would just say just that attacking and aggressive style. Coach Nielsen, like you said, he's a very intense guy, and he brings it, and it trickles down to the defense. So we don't have a choice. Like, when it comes to that, we don't have a choice but to be aggressive and attacking. So that translates to the field, and then once everybody's same like-minded, it's hard to beat us once we're playing as 11.
You guys are at 4-4 right now, still atop of the division. Kind of a little bit of a crossroads right now. You guys are starting a new quarterback this week, who knows what that's going to be going forward, of course. But where do you guys sort of assess where you're at right now as a team, not just the defense overall, kind of going into this next phase of the season?
Yeah, we're 4-4. Of course, we would love to be undefeated, but that's not where we're at right now. And it's the NFL. So right now we're in the middle of the pack, and that's a good place to be in. You still control your own destiny. We still have the guys in the locker room that are willing and ready to compete and give it our all. So we're just ready to go out there and play another game, get a win at home, get a win in the NFC. And I mean, hey, our destiny is in our hand. So that I wouldn't want it any other way.
It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room. So cut the lights and let's get started.
All right, Justin and I were just talking about the run game and how it has to be better and how the offensive line has to continue to improve. Here's a good job, I thought, in this game where the Falcons did such a good job of running the football and did a great job of using the creativity from Arthur Smith and his offense to create the run lane. So what happened here first was you had Kyle Pitts. He started over here and came to this side. Now what that did was it bumped all these linebackers over. So now you're trying to create a three-man side. And here's your three-man side. 1, 2, you got the backer inside. This safety is going to go, when he goes in motion, this safety is going to go back to the middle of the field. So now you have the numbers you want to the side. You'll get outside zone. And now you create what you like here. You get a nice block right here by your receiver. He's going to come across and he's going to block this guy. You're going to get your tackle, who is Jake Matthews. He's going to pull around here. He's going to click this guy. And then Bergeron, who is your last player here, he's going to get up and he's going to get the block on this particular linebacker. And then you're going to have Bijan hit it coming right through the seam here. Let's watch how this play unfolds here. Motion goes across, and you can see the safety's already back here. Now you get action here. Now you get your guard pulling around, and watch the hat on the hat you get on every single person. Look at that. You got a hat on the hat, and you got this guy who's way inside to try to tackle Bijan. This is such a good play here. Nice, good job of getting access from your offensive lineman, and you walk into the end zone. Outstanding job of creativity, and it's more I think we can do and use with our backs and our athletic linemen, Justin. That's going to get us better and get more yards on the ground this week when we face the Vikings.
And whoever's in at quarterback, good run game will do nothing but help. Shock, thanks so much. More to come on Early Birds. The Michigan sign-stealing story keeps getting weirder, and perhaps Georgia's got their biggest obstacle in the SEC East coming to visit. Plus,
it's almost like we're play caddy for each other in like a golf. So we're just out there caddying for each other, and I think it's helping both of us tremendously.
Bradley Pinion is always there to hold his teammates up. Looks easy, but it's a fine art. He'll explain when we go deep.
Hey Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you. You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best, nothing. And sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Truist, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bang. And the Home Depot, how doers get more done. More early birds coming back at you. Early birds, listen up. It's not Saturday without some college football talk. Brought to you by Zaxby's. Indescribably good chicken fingers and wings. Here's Justin Felder.
Welcome back into Early Birds. We welcome in former Falcons and Ohio State wide receiver Michael Jenkins, and poor Rutgers. They've got to deal with the #1 team in college football today, Ohio State.
Yes, we are right now.
We can zoom out. You can do a victory lap around the desk.
No, it's early, so there's still a lot of football left to play.
It was just the first rankings, but we got to talk about them. They came out earlier this week. Ohio State, your Buckeyes, #1. Georgia, #2. DJ's over there. Don't worry about it. And then followed by Michigan and Florida State. So, Jenk, did the committee get it right?
I think if you're looking at what they're looking at, which is strength of schedule. So they're looking at Ohio State has gone on the road to Notre Dame. We played Penn State, ranked team. And you say Georgia, yeah, they're defending champs, but everybody they played is now no longer ranked.
Yeah.
So, but that will all change. Obviously, they got Mizzou today. They still got to play Tennessee. So things will work out the way it needs to work out.
You've talked about this a lot. It's a growing Ohio State team, young quarterback. Does this give them a shot of confidence?
I don't think they're really worried about that right now. You're not worried about being #1 start in November, or you worry about at the end of the season. But, we still have to keep working and get our quarterback really rolling to a point where we can play against those other 3 teams.
I know some Georgia fans may not be happy. For some insight, we caught up with Gary Stokan, president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Yeah, Ohio State's #1, but they only have 1 ranked team left to play, albeit #3 Michigan. Georgia's got #10, #12, and #17 still to play. And potentially, right now Alabama's #8 and LSU's #14 in the SEC championship game. So when you have 4 ranked teams still left to play, that's only going to help your resume in front of the CFP selection committee.
So things could certainly change, but is there anybody in America happier about these rankings than Kirby Smart? This is just like a gift wrap present that he can just say, look, they're ignoring you, they don't think you're nothing. Is he the happiest guy in the country now?
I don't know if Kirby really uses that as a motivational tool for his team. I mean, he's every week he has his guys ready to play, and I think they're really going to show that today, playing a ranked team and giving them all they can handle.
Well, let's talk about that game. Georgia welcoming Missouri to Athens, and the Dogs, this might be their biggest hurdle left in the SEC East. Win, and they're firmly in command. But this Mizzou team, Jenk, is no joke.
Yeah, no joke. Obviously, if we kind of go back to last year, Mizzou was a big dog, and that was a hard-fought win for the Bulldogs. So they're saying, hey, we're a little bit better now, too. So they want to show that they can hang with Georgia, and we'll see what happens.
A lot of talented players. Here's what Kirby Smart had to say about those Tigers.
You got to control the run game. You cannot let them cut loose and run the ball on you, because once they do that, it opens up all the play action and they start taking shots. You got to tackle them when they catch it. They're going to throw and catch it some. You got to get them on the ground. Dominant, disciplined effort. So we need to come out and dominate with discipline, because if you play with discipline, good things happen.
Georgia probably the better team. I think we can all agree on that on paper. But do you think Missouri has what it takes to at least make the Dogs a little nervous like they did last year?
I think it'll be a tough sledding, let's say first half maybe.
Okay.
But I can see Georgia really putting their foot down on this one and rolling.
Another team in the top 4 is Michigan, and we talked about it last week. Got to talk a bit more about the sign stealing thing. Last Saturday, I know you kind of seemed to say it was no big deal. Now we find out that apparently this Michigan staffer was potentially at a Central Michigan game, dressed up in the other team's stuff to maybe try to. This is all allegations right now, but has your opinion on this changed at all since last week when you kind of said, not that big a deal?
A little bit, but it's like, Justin, you go into a whole nother network and in the studio, and nobody asks who you are. You're just on the sideline, it's just getting weirder and weirder, and the more stuff that kind of comes out about it, you're like, is it true, for one?
Right.
But in the end, is it really giving them an advantage? Are they really winning ball games because of this? But hopefully NCAA, Big Ten, they'll do their investigations, and we'll see.
All right, it's a strange scenario. Jenk, we appreciate you. Before we send it to DJ, any message for him while your team is #1 and his is #2? Because it could switch going forward.
Yeah, but we always talk about the #1 team, so who else is behind us?
DJ?
But as you can see, the last thing Justin said was it can switch. So that means he has a feeling the Dogs will eventually be #1, Jenk. You know it too. It's all good. Appreciate it, fellas. Good job on that. All right. Each week on Going Deep, we get Falcons players to tell us about something that you might know not just from watching TV. Now, when you watch field goals, it's easy to ignore the guy holding the ball for the kicker. That usually means they're doing a good job, but that doesn't mean it's an easy job. Falcons punter Bradley Pinion explains in this week's Going Deep.
Koo likes his ball a little straighter than some of the kickers have been. So a straighter, I mean, a lot of kickers want to kind of lean towards the holder. Koo likes his a little straighter. So it took me probably a week or two once I got here last year to like, all right, let me do that for him and get all these other kickers out of my brain and put this one in my brain. If you kind of give him that straight up and down with just a smidge towards the holder, it allows the field goal kicker to clear their foot, kind of like a golf shot where the club can come in, make great contact with the ball, and it goes right where the foot is going instead of maybe double hitting on the foot or hitting it toey, anything along those lines. The lean is what really helps the field goal kicker. I used to kick field goals back in the day, and he used to punt, so we can bounce ideas off each other and really help us say, hey, I'm thinking about this, can you watch it and see this? And it's almost like we're play caddy for each other in like a golf, so we're just out there caddying for each other, and I think it's helping both of us tremendously.
Interesting stuff. That was cool. Well, ahead on Early Birds, it was terrible injury news for Grady Jarrett this week. The Falcons team doctor will explain a little bit more about the ACL, what it does, and why those injuries take so long to come back from.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta.
Disappointing injury news for Falcons fans this week when they found out Grady Jarrett done for the year with a torn ACL. It's 3 letters that can cause any football fan or player's heart to sink. So we wanted to find out a little bit more about what that ligament is and why it takes so long to come back from those injuries. And that's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
So the ACL is a famous ligament in the knee that lots of people hear about. It's the anterior cruciate ligament, and essentially it's a ligament in the middle of the knee that acts as a rope. And so it goes from the front part of your shin to the outer part of your thigh bone. And that ligament's job is to help control the stability of the knee as the knee goes back and forward or in a twisting motion. And when you tear your ACL, one of the reasons why it's famous is that it doesn't typically have a natural regenerative ability or healing ability. So it typically, you tear your ACL and you're going to not have your ACL anymore. So then what will happen is you try to do sports such as football, cutting, pivoting, quick activities, the knee will shift too much and the knee will rotate too much. So it feels as if your knee is popping out of soccer, it's unstable. And that's very disabling to an athlete. They're not typically able to be as athletic as they want to be. But more importantly, the other structures in the knee, such as the meniscus and the cartilage surfaces, because they're seeing more forces in an unstable manner, they can get damaged easier.
Oh, Doc, I feel you. I've been there. All right, those injuries are heartbreaking, but this story will put a smile on your face. We'll show you how Falcons players brightened up Halloween. That's coming up after the break.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. Hey Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you.
Well, the Falcons have some spooky rookies. Atlanta's first-year players had a Halloween party at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Scottish Rite on Halloween this week in Shock. Out of all the community events, this is one I look forward to seeing every year.
Yeah, no doubt. It allows grown men to be kids, what you like, and then have fun with the other kids. And like I said, brighten the smiles and put just some good feelings and vibes out for these young kids.
Absolutely. Like Bijan and the Cheetos after those. Some good ones out there. Very cool to see. Well, Shock, one more matchup to watch in there. Falcons and Vikings tomorrow. Big game for the Falcons to get back on track.
How about Danielle Hunter?
Yeah.
We've given up a lot of sacks over the last few weeks. He is leading the league in sacks. Let's try to contain him. And you brought up another guy, Jordan Addison. We've got to make sure we get eyes on him, too.
Yeah, rookie wide receiver. I know a lot of Falcons fans were hoping Danielle Hunter would be wearing a Falcons jersey at this point. Didn't end up getting traded. Well, that's it for us here on Early Birds. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. Have a good morning and a great rest of your weekend.